Hi, I'm Cason, tea sommelier for Tavalon Tea, here today to talk about the different types of tea. And I want to talk a little bit about our tea, but first I need to give you a little tea 101. What is tea? Well, let's talk about the different types of tea that are out there. Now, there's four main types of tea: black tea, green tea, white tea, and oolong tea. Now, you might not know this, but all of these teas come from exactly the same plant. Not surprisingly, that plant is called the tea plant. So let's talk about a little bit of the differences between them. The first one I like to talk about is black tea. Black tea is the one that people are most familiar with. With black tea, you pick the leaf, you slowly dry it to the perfect moisture level. Too much moisture and you can grow mold. That's not good. I don't like moldy tea leaves. Too little and you're going to start losing flavor. Once you hit that sweet spot, you let the oxygen hit it. You let it, what we call, oxidize. And in that process, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and you get that strength that you're looking for with a good black tea. Now, my favorite black tea is our New York City breakfast. A nice hearty blend, our version of an English breakfast. I like to think it's a little more sophisticated, just like us New Yorkers. And it's got a nice heartiness that we're looking for. Now, the next type of tea would be green tea. With green tea, you pick the leaf, and once again, you slowly dry it to get to that perfect moisture level. But then, you dry it right away. You don't want any oxygen to hit those leaves. You don't want it to be too strong. You want to hold on to a lot of that natural, earthy flavor. And one of my favorite examples of a green tea is our jasmine green. Now, the next tea is right in the middle of those two. It's called an oolong tea. Oolong tea, you pick it, you slowly dry it once again, and when you get to that perfect moisture level, you let the oxygen hit it, but not too much. You don't want to let it go as much as you let a black tea go, because, well, then you'd have a black tea. But you don't want to let it go not long enough, because then you'd have a green tea. But anywhere in the middle, you have an oolong tea. And my favorite oolong tea is our peachy oolong. Now, this is a perfect blend of green tea flavor and black tea flavor. And every time you steep it, you're going to get a little bit of both. Great tea for multiple steepings. Now, the last one is what we call white tea. With white tea, they pick it, and instead of slowly drying it, they quick dry it right away. That's why they say white tea is the most natural. It's got the most health benefits. You might have noticed that there is one type of tea that I haven't talked about right now, and that is herbal tea. But now, we in the industry don't even call it herbal tea, because that's kind of deceiving. It's not really tea, because it doesn't really come from the tea plant. So herbal tea is anything that doesn't come from the tea plant. Now, that could be dried fruits, like our crimson punch, a Coffeewiz favorite, or it could be dried herbs, like our serenity. And basically, it can be anything that doesn't come from the tea plant that you can drink. Now, the thing, because it doesn't come from the tea plant, in general, it doesn't have a lot of the same chemicals in it. Namely, one chemical known as caffeine. So, if you're looking to cut out caffeine altogether, I always say, go with an herbal tea. Now, in terms of the other tea, their level of caffeine, what you want to do is think about the size of the leaf. Now, the size of the leaf is going to make all the difference. Because, like we said, all tea comes from the same plant, all has the same chemicals in there. So, the main difference is going to be how many leaves fit on 1 teaspoon. Because remember, 1 teaspoon makes 1 cup of tea. So, with black tea, because it's oxidized and withered so much the leaves get smaller and smaller, a lot of leaves are going to fit on that teaspoon. So you're going to get the most caffeine out of a black tea. Now, next in line, because it is semi-oxidized, as we call it, is oolong tea. Now, green tea, remember, we didn't let any oxygen hit it. So those leaves are still going to be pretty big. And the last one would be white tea. Now, white tea, like we said, we just pick it and dry it right away. So you're going to get the most natural of all teas. So, therefore, the tea leaves are going to be basically what it looks like when you pick it. So, in terms of caffeine, it's black, oolong, green, and white. And then at the very end is herbal tea. I hope this informational video helped, and I hope you check out all our wonderful products on coffeewiz.com.